Channel 1, Channel 2. Channel 1, Channel 2. Channel 1, Channel 2. Channel 1, Channel 2.
Coming up on Star City News.
Hurricane Michael is set to hit the southeastern United States tomorrow evening.
Officials are already preparing for a natural disaster.
President Trump is making his way to Council Bluffs later today.
He will be holding a rally at the Mid-American Center, and supporters are already lining up.
The recent heavy rain has delayed harvest for some farmers.
The question is, how will this affect the economy and the quality of crops?
All that and more coming up on Star City News. Good evening and welcome to Star City News. I'm Scott Ayers.
And I'm Brayla Gilbert.
Lincoln Animal Control is asking for your help tonight. They are still on the search for two dogs after they jumped out of a car and attacked an elderly couple and their dog while on a walk last Wednesday. Amanda Acevedo has more on this story.
That's right, Scott. Two dogs jumped out of a vehicle and began attacking a dog and its owner while they were out for a walk. They're still currently being looked for, and there is concern around whether or not they've had the proper rabies vaccinations. An elderly couple and their dog were attacked on Wednesday, October 3rd by two dogs. According to Steve Beal, the division manager for animal control, witnesses say two dogs jumped out of a passing vehicle's window and began attacking the victim's dog. The attack took place near the intersection of Woodsdale Boulevard and Cedar Drive around 10 a.m. The male owner of the dog being attacked began to intervene and tried to pry the two dogs off of his own. In the process, his hand was bitten and he was later brought to the hospital for further treatment. A female driver exited the vehicle the two dogs jumped from to help get them back into her car and stop the attack, but proceeded to leave the incident. The man who was bitten did receive medical treatment, but it has not yet been confirmed if he received a post-bite rabies shot.
What's important about that is, from a public health standpoint, is we don't know the vaccination status of either of these dogs.
The dogs currently being looked for were medium to large in size. One was white with black on its face, and the other was a more reddish tan color. The vehicle that is being searched for is described as a 2010 to 2015 four-door silver or blue midsize sedan.
Anybody that might have any information could call Lincoln Animal Control. Our telephone number is 402-441-7900, and we'd be happy to take any information that might help us in this investigation.
Reporting for Star City News, I'm Amanda Acevedo.
Police say two students were taken to the hospital in critical condition after a stabbing at Omaha Burke High School. The school was placed on lockdown after the incident that occurred around 2:30 this afternoon. OPD spokesperson Philip Anson says the two students were in an altercation when the stabbing occurred. The weapon used has been recovered by police. Students were slowly dismissed after 3 p.m. after Omaha police cleared the school. Omaha Public Schools officials announced all after-school activities have been canceled.
We have been besieged by rain and gone under a flash flood warning. This is especially alarming for farmers who can't harvest in this weather and have their livelihood at stake. With more on this story, here's Star City's Abby Stonehawker.
Local farmer hasn't been in the field since Saturday. This continuous rainfall is making it hard for farmers to finish harvesting. Dave Nielsen has been doing all he can till the rain passes.
And we were taking wet corn out of the field and drying that, artificially drying it.
Nielsen says he has seen more rain this fall.
It's not so much the amount of rain we had so far, it's this dreary, foggy, drizzly weather. I mean, if it just rained 2 inches one day and would be done, we'd be better off.
Right now, farmers just have to play the waiting game.
This is kind of the culmination of their whole planting season, really, of their year. So for them, it's just waiting to get out there. You know, they kind of wait all year to get to this point, and just having to wait longer, they're going to start getting anxious.
The rain can cause many problems for harvesting.
It's very wet and very muddy, so that causes problems just getting into the field with our big equipment.
The wear and tear of the equipment isn't the only problem.
Quality of the grain tends to go down with the moisture and that, especially if it has to sit out there.
Nielsen says he might be expecting 16 to 18-hour days when the sun comes out.
Now we've had plenty of time to rest here the last few days, so we'll just plow through. It's nothing new.
And hopefully we will see sunny, dry days ahead. For Star City News, I'm Abby Stonehawker.
Over 150 employees at the former Cabela's credit card operation will soon be out of a job. Capital One announced layoffs coming to the company's office in Lincoln. Our own Alex Chisholm has more.
Capital One Financial said its Northwest Lincoln office will lay off 153 employees starting in December, according to a notice sent to the state labor department. Most of the workers facing the layoffs work on Cabela's branded credit cards at the company. Capital One says those affected by the cuts can't apply for other positions within the company. According to a Capital One spokesperson, the remaining Lincoln employees will continue to focus on providing service to Cabela's cardholders. Capital One took over the operating duties of the Cabela's credit card after Bass Pro Shop bought their competitor in 2017.
The Greek system at the University of Nebraska has seen several chapters face suspensions due to things such as hazing and students dying from alcohol overdose. Officials say this is the very things the community is trying to turn around as the national spotlight is burning bright on the Greek community.
Fraternity at San Diego State is getting the boot.
West Virginia University is suspending all Greek activity after a freshman died.
Tonight, fraternity members are packing up and moving out.
If this trend continues, I would see the houses just be removed from campus.
If we don't stay innovative, if we don't stay nimble to change, if we don't look at better ways of providing service to our students that want to join our organizations, that if we become so narrow-minded, then it can be done in 10 years, it can be done in 5 years.
The Greek communities around the country are under pressure, with Penn State, Florida State, and other universities putting an end to their Greek systems. John Gayer says this doesn't scare those at UNL.
I think it has motivated our chapters to be at a higher standard. It has called out organizations for some of the behaviors that actually hurt them when they do things, and it actually hopefully has motivated our chapters to look at that and take a stance and try to shift the way things are going.
Phi Psi, Fiji, and now Delta Tau Delta have all gone under investigation in the last 3 years. The latest fraternity, Delta Tau Delta, is under investigation for hazing. Rademacher says this is one of the reasons fraternities must change.
But the types of change we need to bring about, kind of start living up to our values.
Gayer says the Greek community can be prosperous.
If we can continue to be innovative, there is no expiration date for the university's Greek community here at Nebraska.
Rademacher holds a different view.
Unless things significantly change, I think in 10 years the Greek system at Nebraska, maybe even nationwide, will probably be gone.
Well, Scott, we haven't seen the sun in a few days.
I know, and I am sure we are all very tired of this rain.
Grace, will we see sun anytime soon?
Well, guys, tomorrow we might have a little bit drier weather, and on Thursday we'll even see the sun for the first time in what feels like forever. But right now it's all rain. Lancaster County is currently in a flood watch through Wednesday morning. Lincoln is currently sitting at 51 degrees with winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour out of the north to northwest. Stay tuned to see your full weather update later on in the show.
That'll be all for right now. Coming up after the break, we'll see more.
Coming up on Star City News.
Brett Kavanaugh is no longer a nominee.
The newest justice begins his first day on the bench this week following a lengthy, controversial nomination process.
Hurricane Michael is barreling toward the coast.
We'll give you an update on the storm and what to expect.
All that and more coming up on Star City News.
Live from the Anderson Hall Broadcast Studios in the College of Journalism and Mass Communications at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, this is Star City News.
There's lots to see and do at the University of Nebraska State Museum. Be sure to visit our new temporary exhibit, The Museum Builders, which explores the history that led to the building of the University of Nebraska State Museum. Accompanying this is also an escape room, which features the history of fossil collecting in Nebraska. For more info, visit museum.unl.edu.
Since 1990, the Mary Ritma Ross Media Arts Center has served the University of Nebraska-Lincoln with independent film from across the country. With live theater broadcasts, Q&A sessions, and local film festivals, the Ross offers exclusive events year-round. So drop in, grab some popcorn, and watch some of the finest comedies, documentaries, or thrillers. For any movie genre you prefer, the Ross has got it covered.
At the Nebraska History Museum, there's over 12,000 years of history under one roof. Learn about Nebraska before it came a state, what it was like to live in Nebraska during the early years of statehood, and even see unique artifacts only on display at the Nebraska History Museum. The Nebraska History Museum is open until 5:30 Monday through Saturday and is free for everyone. With ever-rotating exhibits, you'll never run out of history to learn. Visit the Nebraska History Museum at 131 Centennial Mall in Lincoln, Nebraska today.
As part of their Simple Living campaign, Sustain UNL wants to teach you to make your own compost for gardening. Making your own compost is as simple as throwing uneaten fruit, vegetables, bread, and eggshells in a pile and letting nature do the rest. Try turning your pile once a week to aerate it and add it to your garden before planting for the best effect. To learn more about living simply, visit Sustain UNL's Facebook page. Sustain UNL, creating a sustainable world through activism, education, and service engagement.
Welcome back to Star City News. Just days after Brett Kavanaugh and the Dr. Ford debacle, the new Supreme Court justice was confirmed on Saturday. Kavanaugh is Donald Trump's nomination for the position. New Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh will sit on his first 4 courtroom arguments today and tomorrow. 2 of the cases revolve around what Congress means when it said convictions for a violent felony. Now, federal law could require longer sentences for repeated offenders. Kavanaugh hears these 4 cases just days after he was confirmed into the Supreme Court by a vote of 50 to 48. Kavanaugh is the 114th justice to serve on the court.
Florida is facing one of the biggest storms it has seen in a while. Many areas have already been placed under mandatory evacuation. Hurricane Michael could be the first major hurricane to hit Florida Panhandle in years. Michael has already affected Cuba and continues to strengthen as it moves towards the U.S. Florida Governor Rick Scott declared a state of emergency for several counties. Mandatory as well as voluntary evacuation orders are already in place for some areas.
This storm will be life-threatening and extremely dangerous. We're expecting 4 to 8 inches of rain, and some areas might see 12 inches of rain.
And in Alabama, a statewide state of emergency has been declared. Authorities in both states urging residents to heed all warnings. Jeffrey Byard warned those who are going to be in the affected zones.
The time to evacuate and heed the local warnings is now. Hurricane Michael is going to be a devastating storm to a part of Florida that has not seen a storm of this magnitude in quite some time. I will have to say this, the states of Georgia and Alabama, obviously need to be prepared. Some of the hurricane force winds are going to go well inland. You're going to see a lot of power outages. With power outages, everything then becomes compounded.
Michael is currently a Category 2, but could reach Category 3 status by landfall Wednesday.
For the first time, we will be doing an entertainment minute. To kick things off, here's Aaron Hunter. Aaron, what's going on?
Thanks, Scott. Yes, absolutely. Let's jump right in, starting with the royal wedding that is only 3 days away. Princess Eugenie and fiancé Jack Brooksbank will be tying the knot in the same venue as her famous cousin Prince Harry in St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle. The 20-year-old stuns with a sapphire ring surrounded by smaller diamonds. With a full day of events, there's going to be plenty to anticipate on Friday. Over the weekend, Walking Dead star Scott Wilson died after a hard-fought battle with cancer. Our thoughts are with his family. Did you guys catch Dancing with the Stars last night? The theme was Memorable Nights, and one that makes my tear ducts act up every season. The best dance went to Juan Pablo and pro Cheryl Burke, but the night wasn't great for everyone. Tinashe and Nancy McKinnon, both stars, were both in jeopardy last night.
The couple leaving us is Nancy and Val.
Well, that's all for your entertainment news. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, it's been a tough weekend for Husker athletics.
That's right. Both the Nebraska football and volleyball teams lost on Saturday. Here's Zach Penrice with the first look at sports. Zach?
That's right, guys. It feels like losing and disappointment has been the most consistent theme in Lincoln this fall. Later on in sports, I'll take a look at Husker football and what they feel is a turning point in their season. We'll also take a look at some of the highlights from the volleyball team's first loss in over a month and hear what head coach John Cook had to say about his team's performance. And finally, I'll recap what's been a busy week in Major League Baseball as the postseason continues tonight. All that and more coming up on Star City News Sports.
My windshield wipers have been getting a lot of use over the past couple of days. Grace, are we ever going to get a break?
You know, I tell you what, Braley, it's really not looking like it, at least not until tomorrow morning. Then they might get a little break through Thursday, but we'll be right back to the soggy weather over the weekend. I'll give you the complete rundown of your full forecast right after this.
Coming up on Star City News.
Zach Penrice recaps a busy weekend of Husker sports.
But first, Grace Harmon gives her full weather report and tells us if she thinks this rain will ever stop on the other side of the break.
You're watching Star City News.
We understand. Sometimes you need to stay late on campus. We also understand crime rates are higher at night. That's why UNL is taking care of their students by offering the Husker Safe Walk. It's a free walk-in escort service that can be requested at any time while on campus by calling 402-472-2222. Call 402-472-2222 if you feel unsafe or would like to request a Husker Safe Walk.
Libraries are more than just books. The Bennett Martin Public Library is a place for the whole community to take a break and read, or use technology. It's especially a place for our children to play, learn, and read. We offer spaces that help children learn to read and then love to read. Family story times and summer reading programs help establish the reading habit. Please support libraries as they help children grow into lifelong readers and learners. For more information, please visit lincolnlibraries.org.
Located in room 340 of the Nebraska Union, the UNL Women's Center provides a welcoming space full of resources. Their dedicated staff are here to help. Open to all genders, they offer various programs, including free confidential counseling available to UNL students, faculty, and staff. Take advantage of their resources, get involved as a volunteer, or just stop by to check things out. The Women's Center, at the intersection of gender and your life.
The Capital Humane Society's Pylock Pet Adoption Center, where you can find your next baby girl, your next Aaron, or your next furry animal companion. Each adoption comes with spaying or neutering, microchip registration, and a health exam that is included in adoption fees. So stop by the Capital Humane Society's Pylock Pet Adoption Center, located at 70th and Highway 2, to find your next furry friend.
Well, surprise, surprise, it's still raining outside. We're currently sitting at 52 degrees and it looks like tonight will be more of the same. Now let's take a look at that current radar. As you can see, the rain will continue through the evening hours with periods of heavier showers through the night. And with all this rain, Lancaster County is currently in a flood watch, but we should see that lifted at some point tomorrow as this band of rain currently on the radar clears out. And Wednesday, we're looking at a high of 47 degrees and cloudy skies. But wait, we might see the sun. It will finally feel like fall with 52 degrees outside. But don't get used to it because it won't be sticking around. Friday, the rain is back and will continue through Saturday with temps near the upper 40s. But there is hope. A stretch of sunny days are on the horizon. On Sunday and Monday, we'll see temperatures dipping into the low 40s, but at least the sun will be shining. Now looking even further ahead to Tuesday, we'll see a slight increase in temperatures into the lower 50s. Well, Braley, you had mentioned your windshield wipers earlier. Mine, I had to get them replaced. I've used them so much.
Yeah, I just back and forth, nonstop for the last few days.
That's about right.
Thanks, Grace. Still coming up on Star City News.
President Trump is in Council Bluffs today to hold a rally ahead of the midterm election.
But first, Zach Penrice recaps a weekend of Husker football and volleyball and takes a look at a historic night in New Orleans.
If you're feeling hopeless, depressed, or suicidal, you're not alone. If you think that your life isn't worth living, then you need a second opinion. Local trained counselors right here in Lincoln are here for you. Call the Centerpoint Crisis Response at 402-475-6695 or call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. Suicide is a permanent solution for temporary feelings. There is help. there is hope. Make the call.
As part of their Simple Living campaign, Sustain UNL wants to teach you to make your own compost for gardening. Making your own compost is as simple as throwing uneaten fruit, vegetables, bread, and eggshells in a pile and letting nature do the rest. Try turning your pile once a week to aerate it and add it to your garden before planting for the best effect. To learn more about living simply, visit Sustain UNL's Facebook page. Sustain UNL, creating a sustainable world through activism, education, and service engagement.
Libraries are more than just books. The Bennett Martin Public Library is a place for the whole community to take a break and read, or use technology. It's especially a place for our children to play, learn, and read. We offer spaces that help children learn to read and then love to read. Family story times and summer reading programs help establish the reading habit. Please support libraries as they help children grow into lifelong readers and learners. For more information, please visit lincolnlibraries.org.
We have a new University Health Center, now including the UNMC College of Nursing. The new and improved University Health Center offers everything in one place, including a full-service pharmacy and physical therapy. If you're feeling stressed, talk it out with counseling, or relax and unwind in the all-new Zen Room, now located at 550 North 19th Street.
Welcome back to Star City News. I'm Zach Penrice. The Nebraska football team suffered yet another loss on Saturday as the Huskers fell 41-24 on the road against Wisconsin. The loss brings their record to 0-5 for the first time since 1945. And just to give you a little bit of an idea of how long ago that truly was, that year, World War II ended, a gallon of gas cost only 15 cents, and only 5,000 homes had a television.
There's no question we got better this week.
The Nebraska football team is off to their worst start in 73 years. However, head coach Scott Frost has seen immense improvement this past week, hinting that the departure of wide receiver Tyjon Lindsey and running back Greg Bell has actually helped his team.
Getting to that turning point where the team wasn't going to put up with any more of the culture killers and we're going to become culture keepers. Sometimes you got to lose a couple guys to get to that point. Sometimes you got to maybe bench a couple guys to get to that point.
Frost said this change started after the Huskers lost 2 weeks ago against Purdue. Some of the Nebraska players noted the changes they've seen and continued improvement from the team.
Our team definitely has a little bit new energy to it. Just believing in ourselves, believing in our coaches, and believing in our teammates. And I think it's just we're on the right track to where we need to go.
I think through all the adversity we faced so far, I think the big thing for this team was seeing if we were going to fight or not when we were down, and we knew last year that was the case. So I think right now it's good to see that we are fighting, and we know that we're going to compete no matter what the circumstances are.
The Huskers continued preparation for their game this Saturday against Northwestern with another practice today. The team will be practicing outside throughout the week as the game against the Wildcats is their only contest this year to be played on grass. The Nebraska volleyball team's 14-match winning streak came to an end on Saturday after a disappointing 3-1 loss to Minnesota. The Huskers don't have much time to dwell on the defeat as tomorrow they host Indiana before a weekend trip to 9th-ranked Penn State. Nebraska head coach John Cook was discouraged by the mistakes made by his team in what was their first loss since August 24th.
Tonight we've got punched, and so we didn't respond very well. So we're going to have to learn how to respond when teams are as physical as us and are serving and passing the level that we're at. It starts with a mindset in every rep in practice and every rep in the match, and you can't take plays off, and you can't blow assignments, and you can't make 3 errors in a row. And we had the momentum, and we serve out, we serve in the net. They call timeout, we serve out. I mean, it's just those things against good teams. It's a 2 or 3 point turnaround. Like I said, they outworked us, they outserved and passed us, and they just outwilled us. And normally we outwill teams, especially at home, and we got outwilled tonight.
The Huskers will look to bounce back tomorrow when Indiana comes to the Devaney Center for a 7 p.m. match. You can catch all the highlights of the match on Thursday right here on Star City News. Well, there was history made in the NFL last night.
Incredible.
That's New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees, who with this 62-yard touchdown passed Peyton Manning as the NFL's all-time leading passer, eclipsing 71,940 career passing yards. The Saints won the game over the Redskins last night 43-19, and Brees, who holds countless league records, now has 499 touchdown passes, which is fourth most in NFL history and only one behind Tom Brady.
Well, how about that, Drew Brees? And how about Major League Baseball that's currently in the midst of its postseason? At this point, only 5 teams remain. Yesterday, the Houston Astros completed the sweep of the Cleveland Indians with an emphatic 11-3 win on the road to advance to the American League Championship Series. In the National League, the Los Angeles Dodgers defeated the Atlanta Braves last night 6-2 the final score to clinch a 3-1 series win and advancing to their 3rd straight National League Championship Series. There, they will take on the Milwaukee Brewers, who completed a 3-game sweep over the Colorado Rockies on Sunday. No more Rocktober. It's all about the Brewers and the Dodgers in the National League. Only one division series is still going, and it's one of the best rivalries in sports. Last night, the Red Sox taking Game 3 of the series over New York with a 16-1 victory. The guy you're seeing here is Brock Holt, who hit the first cycle in Major League postseason history. That's a single, double, triple, and home run in one game. Here's a recap of the postseason so far. Milwaukee, Los Angeles, and Houston have all advanced to the next phase of the playoffs. The Red Sox could clinch that final spot with a win tonight over the Yankees, as New York will look to force a decisive Game 5 in Boston on Thursday. Well, that'll do it for sports. Stick around. Plenty still to come on Star City News.
Since 1990, the Mary Ritma Ross Media Arts Center has served the University of Nebraska-Lincoln with independent film from across the country. With live theater broadcasts, Q&A sessions, and local film festivals, the Ross offers exclusive events year-round. So drop in, grab some popcorn, and watch some of the finest comedies, documentaries, or thrillers. For any movie genre you prefer, the Ross has got it covered.
We have a new University Health Center, now including the UNMC College of Nursing. The new and improved University Health Center offers everything in one place, including a full-service pharmacy and physical therapy. If you're feeling stressed, talk it out with counseling, or relax and unwind in the all-new Zen Room, now located at 550 North 19th Street.
We understand. Sometimes you need to stay late on campus. We also understand crime rates are higher at night. That's why UNL is taking care of their students by offering the Husker Safe Walk. It's a free walk-in escort service that can be requested at any time while on campus by calling 402-472-2222. Call 402-472-2222 if you feel unsafe or would like to request a Husker Safe Walk.
The Capital Humane Society's Pylock Pet Adoption Center, where you can find your next baby girl, your next Aaron, or your next furry animal companion. Each adoption comes with spaying or neutering, microchip registration, and a health exam that is included in adoption fees. So stop by the Capital Humane Society's Pylock Pet Adoption Center, located at 70th and Highway 2, to find your next furry friend.
Welcome back to Star City News. And finally, President Trump is coming to Iowa.
That's right. Donald Trump will be in Council Bluffs today. Donald Trump is holding an event at the Mid-American Center at 6:30 in Council Bluffs, Iowa. This is the 4th rally Trump has held in Council Bluffs since he began his presidential campaign. The president is opening the door to year-round access to gasoline with higher ethanol blend. The move should help Iowa farmers during harvest season. That will do it for this episode of Star City News.
Make sure you join us this Thursday for our next newscast. Until then, I'm Braylee Gilbert.
I'm Scott Ayers. Thanks for watching and good night.